don't you look at me? I've tried to be as open as I can. Why don't you look at me? I'm tired of being the invisible man. The invisible man. Oh, the invisible man.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of The Invisible Man. My name is Mark David Stallard. If you're as you're watching right now, if you're watching live or you're watching after the live event, please like the stream, like the show, share, subscribe, and do all that other good stuff. And of course, I'm joined as usual with my very good friend Ryan Jans. He does not use his middle name is David, but he doesn't use it even though he should. I screwed that up. How you doing, buddy?
It's all right. As we have commented before, I think we've practiced that intro so many different times and actually have gotten it perfect on occasion. Today is not one of those days, but that's okay because Mark is on the south side, I'm on the north side of the city, and that's okay. We are not just separated by the threat of pandemic, but the threat of freezing to death because it is a little brisk outside in the River City here. So all you Winnipeg natives, make sure if you go outside, you bundle up and stay safe and warm.
Yes, and I'm sitting in the basement with a leaky back door and two electrifiers going. And I can barely hear what's going on because they're so loud. Anyhow, before we can continue to complain about the cold, as we often do in this part of the world. Of course, being English as well, I complain about the weather everywhere I go. Anyhow, so let's go on with bringing our guest into the show, who's been on the screen and patiently waiting the whole time. So our guest today is Veronica Gonzalez, a.k.a. Vero G. Her music has been described as refreshing, upbeat R&B mixed with soul. She is a lady with a resume as long as Route 66. She is a singer, songwriter, model, actress, poet, host, screenwriter. She's from the Lower East Side. I mean, is there really anything she hasn't done? Well, let's find out together. Vero G, welcome to the show.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm so honored. Thank you.
It is great to have you. So we got to ask that question that I asked in the intro. Is there anything you haven't done?
I haven't done children's books yet, but I have done, adult literature, I guess what they call it, other stuff, I guess, but I don't know. I'll still look around for that. I'll get that answer to you when I'll get to my next adventure on that.
and that goes just to show just how much how active you are and how many fingers you've got in how many pies. I think you know what I mean.
Yes.
Very impressive. Very impressive. I'm so pretty happy to have you on. We are not going to run out of things to talk about, I suspect. But first, let's start the show how we normally do. Is maybe we can just get you to just say a little bit about yourself, if that's possible, having done so much.
Definitely not a problem. So as you guys kind of put more information on that, I am an artist, entrepreneur, radio host, and TV as well. I am a published author. They mentioned that I just do a bit of hair, acting, plus size model. I try to tap into everything as I can. But basically, I originated from Lower East Side, it's downtown Manhattan as we speak, and I'm still living there. I moved from Bronx and back to Manhattan as well sometimes. But overall, I love what I do. I just want to embrace people. What I basically do is I inspire other artists out there, anybody in the entertainment industry, to pursue their dreams. No matter what you're going through in your obstacles, you could overachieve anything in life if you really put your heart and soul into it, and be consistent. That's key to be successful. But otherwise, I have a lot of projects I will talk to you guys as well for your listeners, and all the great things I'm doing alongside as well.
That's fantastic. And just so you know, we have a fairly inquisitive audience, and I see a question already come up in the chat. So we'll go through the early questions, and then we'll hand over to the audience, and we'll see which other ones build up. So thanks, Shalene, for your question. It is noted. We will read it out shortly. But I think one of the things
that's a new record. It's been 3 minutes, and we've got a question from the audience. That's a new record.
Hey, I'm honored, man. This is
I like it.
Thank you.
So let's kind of start at the beginning. I've got a few things that interest me personally.
Bringing it down.
So there are a few things that interest me personally, pretty much about every. How do they get started? And I like to find out a bit about the creative process as well. But so the first is, how did you realize, or how young were you when you realized that you had a talent for music?
Yes, I actually at the age of 7 years old, I always been instilled with my parents and my family, always told me like to believe in yourself. That's how I got that foundation. And at the age of 7, I was home watching TV or listening to music. That was always a part of what I done. Usually Saturdays, me and my family will clean the house, the chores and stuff like that. It was kind of routine-ish. But down the line, it started something that it gradually it got into a point in my life where it was essential. And especially with music. And I just love hearing all types of songs, all types of genres and everything. And I just, something in me said, I could do this, especially at the age of 7, you're young, you're still kind of like trying to figure yourself out. And down the line, as we speak, I just started continuing songwriting at an age, I think I was in 9th grade at 14 or so. I started doing my first song, which was called Teardrops. And I just continue on writing. I was in the poetry club. Down the line, I actually was in my school choir. We actually won the first, like how you call it, the talent scout or talent show or something, where we won first prize. It was a great, amazing experience with that. Down the line, I actually worked with Al Sharpton with the Change Choir for some time. It was a great experience. I got to travel a little bit, and I got to see how it is, that kind of lifestyle. But down the line, I just had to continue on my studies at the same time, so I had to focus on that. Eventually, I just started doing open mics, showcases, and I just started seeing it as an independent artist how it is. It's very hard, I'll be honest with you, because a lot of people don't really want to invest in what you're doing or as your brand. But down the line, now as looking at it as an entrepreneur, I see it how the struggles are real. And a lot of people, if they really believe in what you're doing as your brand, they'll support it, and, now as from being, I'm still an unsigned artist, by the way, but, to continue on my work as an unsigned artist, as we speak to now, having my own company, with Vero G Productions, with its TV show, the radio show, the Vero G Spotlight radio show and TV show combined together, also just having my own, merchandise, down CDs, books, everything, the list goes on. And I feel like this is a great way to anybody who's listening now or watching to know that you could start somewhere and continue pushing yourself to that limit.
Nice. Ryan.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I was going to hand over to you for the next question now.
It's like, oh my God, where to start?
I was listening to a lot of that, and I always have like a pencil and a notepad next to me, and I was frantically scribbling what I thought was a good idea, and it makes no sense. So,
okay. No problem.
And then Mark called me out on it. It's all right.
Well, Ryan was complaining that he wasn't doing much in the show, so I want to include him.
No, not a problem. It's okay.
Ryan looks unusually sedated and bored. He's like, no, I'm just trying to follow like just sitting there is like the amazing career we've laid out here. Actually, okay, so that amazing thought that I thought was amazing that didn't turn out to amazing now has reconstituted and reconciled itself in my mind, because that's how my brain works, So we're gonna go with that question. I come from a punk and metal background. One of the punk bands that I really enjoyed listening to is actually from the UK, from where Mark was.
Awesome.
And they had stated in an interview that they actually, because they achieved some success, they kind of got on the top 40 radio, and they got popularity up, and then they kind of just like disappeared. And they actually prefer to have that unsigned underground market, because the fans are just that much more there. Like when you're, Henry Rollins said it best, when you're like down at CBGB's and standing 5 feet away from Joey Ramone, and then you go to Shea Stadium and see Peter Frampton live from the nosebleeds. Yeah, you're just like never. You don't really go there, right? Because it's just that much more intimate. And you had said that you're currently an unsigned artist. When you interact with your fans, would you rather, because it's that cut, it's sort of that two-edged sword, right? Where it's like, yeah, obviously you all want to be successful. The only way you're going to do this is if you are successful. But at what cost to the fan. So what would be your take on that? Would you like to get a modicum of success, or would and reach a greater underground base, or would you rather sort of hit the top of the pops and sing to the entire into the entire world essentially, right? So
that's a really good question. Nobody actually asked me that. I would honestly say yes, really good. Actually, I would say I would like to have a combination of both, actually, because you don't really see that. Like, being the underground scene for a long time, I've seen where, like you mentioned, exactly right. You're more intimate with the artist. You're on stage, basically next to them, and you get to see their performance, and you get to actually interact with them afterwards. And then so. But especially with mainstream, everything is sold by the book, and so politics, as they call it, and you be lucky if you have to pay so much money for VIP just behind the scenes to take a quick picture and say hi to them. I want to be as maybe breaking those barriers down, especially between indie and also with mainstream, where we could have a little bit of both, where the artists, they're paying to see you in a concert, they should get the privilege to interact with you, not just because they pay a substantial amount of money to just see you for 5 to 10 minutes, have a quick conversation and leave out of there. It's more of like you said, intimacy, like to get to know your fans, because they're basically supporting you in what you're doing in that sense.
Right on.
Thank you.
That is a great answer to a frantically scrambled up question.
I know, it's okay. It's all good.
Yeah, I think what we can do is now would be as good a time as any, so I don't get caught in the middle of a thought here. Is we do have a couple of questions in from before, as we said, from our audience member, one of our audience members, Shalim, who is a avid music fan. And just has been a great support to us. So thanks again, buddy, for all your questions.
If I may intersect there, it looks like he's taking over. So Shalim's going to be interviewing you from the comments.
Okay. That's smart.
I'm going to ask him a little bit out of order here, because I found the second question he asked, I think it would be really interesting. Because Mark and I obviously are a completely different genre from that soul R&B thing, and we have a way that we work together. It's this wonderful collaboration that's just we did like 2 jam sessions and we just were able to lock onto each other like that, right?
Love it.
So the question is, how do you go about writing a song? Do you have a melody in your head, or do you think of your background music or a track or a specific drum beat? Because I've listened to a lot of your tracks and they do kind of go into that R&B and into some hip hop as well. Do you come up with that sort of that particular beat? Like, what's your process here?
That's a good question. All right, so usually how I do it with the process is usually I will just have a concept, start brainstorming, what words I want to put together or how the structure of it, and then it's usually the main factor I always say is the instrument, like the instrumental, as they say, or the beat. It has to like get to me. Like you hear beats and you're like, that's kind of karaoke-ish, or that's kind of like not for me. And when it's something that gravitates to me, I have to keep playing it until I start putting everything as a whole entire song itself. It's a process, but eventually when the song comes to play and the beat is right and the lyrics are together, well done, I feel like I'm a perfectionist, so I have to make sure everything sounds right. Want to make sure it's marketable, and at the same time it's put out there so people could appreciate it. So yeah, I definitely would have put that all together now.
Cool. Mark, go for it. You can ask the next one.
Well,
okay.
Fire away.
Well, I'm going to start Shalim's questions at the beginning, actually. So, and I'm going to tag mine on. So he's asking, who inspired you to make music? And I suspect that is more of a personal. Is there anyone personally that inspired you? But I'd like to extend that a little bit further. What's music? Or which other artists inspire you? So it's a two-piece question there.
Sure. Okay. So the first question is, basically my musical influences. The list goes on, but I could just say a few top of my head. Mariah Carey, Alicia Keys, Mary J. Blige. I believe not the Selena Gomez, but the original Selena, who passed away unfortunately many years ago. She was my main and to this day role model in the music scene, because due to that, where she was the first Telehana, I forget if I spelled it wrong, but she was the first Mexican American female artist to break those barriers down in the male dominated industry, especially in that scene many years ago. And I respect her for that. Her passing away unfortunately happened, but she left a legacy, and I respect her for what she has done to bring to the community. I helped a lot with, children, especially when she gave back. That's my big thing as well, what I do. And just giving back to the community and helping people out there in need. That's a big thing. So that's for one. And the second one, the genres, I say basically, I love a mix of everything. I love, reggaeton, salsa, a little bit of Spanish there, hip hop, R&B. I just love a little bit of everything. Classical, don't ask me because I'm not gonna ask. That's something out of my range. Definitely.
So Wagner or Bach? Which was your favorites? Just kidding.
Oh my God! Here he goes. Beethoven. There we go. That's something I know.
It's a trick.
Somewhere between Mozart and Bach, it's more of a mock piece, right? So I mean, there you go.
There was a trick question. Wagner's crap. Anyhow.
Oh my God.
Anyhow. Does it sound like
the one and maybe two people who listen to our show who are Wagner fans?
I'm sure there are. That's great. Are there any particular artist that has just said, "I want to be like them"? That's I mean, from a musical point of view, that's the way I want to sing. That's the way I want to play. And you can have more than one.
Oh man, that's a good one. Mariah Carey, I always loved how she because her notes, nobody could reach to that point besides Ariana Grande. That's about it. But, the way she carries herself for many years, she's been in the business over 20 something years, and she's still a classy woman, and she could be a diva as they call her. But overall, her music still sells, and I just love how she carries herself and her music. It's good. That's what I'll say with that.
So again, I'm going to ask you a quick question.
Sure.
Again, one of those ones that just frantically runs. I've got a bunch of questions that I'm eventually hoping to ask you, but this one just came in because you mentioned Ariana Grande. I'm not a big pop music fan. I tend to like a lot more indie stuff. Whatever, pop music's pop music, and if I could play professionally and make a living at playing somebody as a background, playing bass for a pop band, do I sacrifice artistic integrity to get a paycheck? As long as I can still record my own stuff on the end, I'm okay with it. Really, that's not where I was going with it. That's just the rambling nature of me. What I was going to ask is, when you look at, say, somebody like Mariah Carey as sort of the old guard, and you get newer acts like Ariana Grande, who's obviously going to pick up the torch and go, very similar vocal qualities to early to next, right? And obviously an insanely talented young lady. Yes. What do you feel like there's a change? Because anecdotally, I can say in pop music there seems to have been a bit of a shift to more not paint by the numbers. You're going to look this way, you're going to dress this way, you're going to have a career where you're innocent, and then you're going to have the big sex tape and naughty behavior, and then you're going to have the redemption arc, and that's going to be your pop star, right? And insert various pop idols did exactly that. Now it just seems that that's opposite. They don't really care about personal life or whatever. If you want to be strange and aloof like Lady Gaga, you can go and be strange and aloof like Lady Gaga. If you want to be present yourself off as a specific type, you can do that as long as it's making the money. So when you look at, say, an act like Ariana Grande that has got a very unique sound but seems to have a huge range, or like Bruno Mars, sort of making a callback to like Michael Jackson era with actual like full accompanying or like bands. Like, what do you feel like that is that shift there, or is that just like another clever sort of like, hey, we're gonna do this movie in 3D now, that kind of trend?
No, you're actually right. Even like I said, from the 90s even until now at these times, I feel like it has changed a lot. How, like you mentioned, where people more focus about their personal lives, especially the paparazzi and all that sorts, and they're not focused more on the musical side of it as the artists and what they bring to the table as their songs and the messages behind that. I feel back then the days they were like off limits as a sense of disrespect the artists, and now they're, like you mentioned, they're focusing more on other things, which is not really based on what the artist could bring. It's more what the artist, excuse me, what their musical talent is. And I feel like, you know, the music, which you mentioned, the music has changed a lot in the sense of where their style is and how, like you mentioned, it's controversy. Controversy sells. This is what it is. End of the day, you know, their music could be for years to come a legacy, meaning that song could be a one-hit song, but it could lead on to another 20 years. I mean, so it varies. It varies, but especially with pop, it's more like what you mentioned. You're on point with that, where it has changed a lot in that sense.
Yeah, you're not going to come off as the cutesy little this, and then you're going to grow up, and then you're going to rebel, and then you're going to do all this, and then you're going to fade away. And just before you fade away, you're going to have the reunion tour, and that will...
No, it's changed a lot. Yeah,
yeah. I think it has. Having grown up through the '90s, that is definitely that was definitely the pattern. Of what had gone.
Growing up in the 90s, you children. Sorry.
Oh my! It's those our age.
Okay. I just want to remember. I want to recall to the audience, and Vero, I'm sorry you have to picture this in your mind.
It's
who
okay.
Who was showing off band photos from like the late 1970s, early 80s, with people wearing short frayed denim jeans? And like
it was 1980s.
Come on, Mark.
It was 1980s. It wasn't 70s. And it would have been after it would be after 81, because I only started learning guitar in 1981.
Well, there you go.
Anyway, so if you grew up in the 70s,
if it was after
1980,
if it was after 1982, I would have been born, just not in that side of the world.
Oh my,
baby.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And for all you people out there wondering why this little bickering between Mark and me, and he's always teasing me about my age, it's like this every single practice.
Okay. I was just like, I don't know what's going on.
Well, we do a song. We do a song called Moonlight Mist. It was actually on our CD, and it's probably one of our most popular songs. The only song that's been requested an encore immediately after we played it on stage. It's only happened once, but it's the only song that's happened ever. But that song, I will introduce that song, and I will tell the audience that Ryan was in diapers when we were performing this one live back in the day.
Wow.
Anyhow, and he's probably still in diapers now, but who knows? I'm guessing not.
No diapers for me. I was gonna make a lewd comment about that, but no.
Yeah, and actually every now and again, so it's we'll get him. He's just a young guy, but he's also got the face. But he's also got the face though, just where he can wear any hats. If I put a hat on, I just look like an old man in a hat. It doesn't look cool.
Well,
anyhow,
this is practical. I mean, look at this. I mean, so
it's okay.
I kind of have to put it on.
Sorry,
it's cold down here, so I
thought it was night time. I thought the moon came out.
Here we go. The eclipse is happening.
Oh, Claire. Anyway.
Oh my gosh, this is awesome.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you're wondering why the CD is delayed, this is every practice that we.
It's coming. Honestly,
it is coming.
All we're waiting for, funny enough,
still me.
All I'm waiting for are the bass tracks. Come on, Ryan.
Yeah.
Anyhow, let's get back on track again. So I just want to catch everybody up. We have our special guest today is Vero G. If you've just joined us or you've joined us late, and I just want to encourage you to like, subscribe, share, follow, and whatever else that you do on whichever platform you're watching on. And if you want more information about our wonderful guest, then you can check out the description for the stream, whichever platform you're on. If you're on YouTube, you can look down. If you're on Facebook, look up. It's all there. Nice clickable links. Okay. Now, there was a question that came up which I thought was really interesting. Oh, in front of me. What about your music is this is from the audience. This is from Shalem again. What about your music is rebellious, unconventional, or unusual?
Ooh, that's really good. Okay,
I'm writing that one down. That's a good question.
Definitely. So definitely to answer that question, I would say my music is a little different than anybody else's. The way I say it is because I like to have songs that have messages behind it. So everybody's doing love songs. Everybody's doing the rap game where they rap about drugs and sex. Listen, it's great. It's great, but everybody else is doing. You want to stand out. So with my music particularly, I like to talk about things like, for example, I am a domestic violence survivor, and I have talked about a song, I believe, which is not mistaken, it came out I think last year or this year. Actually, on this album, I had to put a cheap plug in here. Victory album.
Oh, go ahead, plug.
Yes, thank you. Okay, Victory album, which is out now on all digital platforms. You guys could get a copy. I do have hard copies. If you're interested, just hit me up. I'll tell you my social media later on, so you guys can find me, all that sorts. But yes, this album, it's amazing. 10 songs on here, and I hope I had it here. Yeah, hope I had it here. Okay, awkward. Anyway, so the other song, the one I mentioned before, I forgot the name of the song. Look at that. How should I forget? Anyway, but this song, it's amazing. It talks about domestic violence, and it's an amazing message behind that. If anything, I'll get the song later for you guys for that. But back to what I was saying. So that song, it's amazing. The other song actually that I did, it's called Through Their Eyes, is on this CD here, and that's talking about Black Lives Matter. So the things that we could relate to, things that are happening now, we need to talk about. The other one is called Fighter, which is already out, guys. You can check that out. It's an amazing video which talks about being bullied, or women who had cancer. It's about different things, domestic violence, rape, things that people have encountered and didn't want to talk about it. This is something that I felt, especially now with COVID, that has been happening since last year. We need to talk more about things that are going to be pushed the limit, and tell people that it's okay, you went through it, you're not alone with that.
Well, that actually is a perfect segue, because I had been coming up with this question, and it's it's a pretty heavy question, and so that actually works out really well. I'm glad that you had tied in, and actually I'm really grateful that there's music like that where you can talk to survivors and talk to people and empower. So when we look at sort of the R&B, hip hop, and and rap genres in a whole, you do see a lot of very toxic relationship, particularly in the side of toxic masculinity. And I'm a daughter. I have a little daughter who's 3, going to be 4 this year, and just daddy's little girl, right? And this idea of toxic masculinity, I can see it creep into my life through influences I may not have been aware of. So it's something that I, obviously don't want that. And we got a little baby on the way, and it's going to be a little boy. So now I have to model how to be a good guy, right? Yes. So this idea of toxic masculinity, how do you go about combating that? I mean, I guess you've sort of answered that in a way. Maybe we can expand on that a little bit better, and just sort of go a little deeper with that, because it's prevalent everywhere. And it doesn't. It's in punk music. It's in metal. It's in every genre. You could make the point that pop star arc is just an extension of toxic masculinity. So let's take that question a little further. How do we take this rebellious, unconventional music and turn this particular issue on its ear?
Yes. Briefly, this is a little off guard what you're asking, but what I do, I just did a documentary, which I guess you'll talk about it a little bit later, but it's called Through the Eyes, The Mask Behind the Mask. And actually I have a docufilm called Trials and Tribulation, which just got out this year, I think January or February. And it talks about, the first one, it talks about survivors domestic violence survivors. We filmed them with their stories, talking about basically what their experience was. And it was through male, the men do go through it, men, females, and children. So it's a family dynamic. And it also talks about the different concepts and how they overcame it, or how they overcome the situation. And we have a lot of resources on this documentary. It came out last year. And a big shout out to Shauna Gordine. She's the co-producer of this amazing docufilm, and Empire Media as well, and myself, and all those who partake on this amazing docufilm. Definitely check it out. It's very heartfelt, inspiring, and it's going to motivate a lot of people out there. But going back to what you mentioned, I feel, as being a domestic violence survivor, your story has to be told. You have to live up your situation to help others down the line. And I know it has not been an easy road for myself, particularly, but I could say this for sure, that overcoming it and looking back on it now has been a long journey. And I am happy to be here surviving, and to be a survivor, forgive me, and to talk to you guys about it, and anyone who's watching right now, and to let you guys know that you are loved. You are special, and I feel that we need to embrace that more than ever in our community, especially minorities. We have a lot of high. I've seen the numbers, especially with COVID. There have been more higher numbers of domestic violence cases where many people have fortunately have passed away through it, or have been injured, or with the situation at hand. So that's why I feel like we need to really talk about this heavy, especially with the song. The song was called "Don't You Cry," by the way. That's what I was trying to tell in my head for the video, but definitely check that out. I was like, how did it see it? I had it in my head. But I feel like definitely, and I actually have a campaign which I did it last year. I actually have a Facebook page. It's called End Domestic Violence, I think, something like that. And also the campaign, I have a petition under, I think it's under www.cc. So if anything, I'll give you guys information. You guys can send the link where you guys could definitely sign the petition. We already have 17 people that signed it. What we're trying to do with this petition is try to basically make a law where I'm really trying to connect the people up in Washington right now, or anybody of that matter. So to get this law passed where the abusers get more harsher time in jail and also get therapy, because you could throw anybody in jail and say, oh, you did a bad thing, you serve some time, you get out. And then what happens? The behavior is repetitive. So they go to the next person and continue with that behavior. What they need is therapy. They need a long-term therapy for them to help them, so they could figure out why they're doing this, so they don't continue on for the next people or the next person who unfortunately will be a victim of that case if that happens. So that's why I feel like we need to take this matter really serious, and other matters as well, but this is particularly close to my heart, and I feel like we need to really enforce this, put up as a law.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And just where can people pick up, check out that docufilm? I'll just put the image back up again.
Not a problem. Yes. All right. So that docufilm, guys, you could check it out on my YouTube channel under Vero G Spotlight TV Network. It's just subscribe, check it out. I have a lot of stuff there, a lot of content, but definitely it's there on there if you guys would love to see that. And also you could check out my second documentary called Trials and Tribulation, which talks about my own personal experience, becoming upcoming, artists and all the things I have to gone through in my past and childhood and everything else. And definitely it's very inspiring, and you're gonna have to get some tissue to cry because it's very emotional. So definitely both of them are very amazing, and they're done by both directors, J Empire Media. So definitely support that, guys, and I appreciate it.
Excellent. Yeah, and if you can give me the link to that other
yes,
the other film,
I will definitely.
I'll make sure it goes in the description of the feed so people can watch it later. And we'll post it to the page. Here we go.
Thank you so much, definitely.
No problem. Oh, and if you're in there, actually, if you look in the comments, Ryan just posted the YouTube, the link to your YouTube
just
page,
a link to your channel in general.
Oh, thank you so much.
So, yeah, it's there if you want to go find it.
So I think that's just on Facebook right now. So if you're on YouTube, come to the Facebook page and check it out.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Appreciate it.
I can text that to you, Mark, if you can put that in the.
Yeah, well, I'll update it. We'll do that afterwards.
As you go.
You should see the amount of buttons and screens I got in front of me. That's crazy.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
Oh my god, that's good.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, if I had some money, I'd pay someone to do this part of it.
Oh man.
But we can't.
I understand.
Okay, I think we're actually. So something I was kind of interested in. I very recently got into filmmaking. I directed, and Ryan was involved in a show called Cannabis Castle. We did 14 episodes for YouTube. It was a lot of fun, and from that I got an interest in filmmaking in general. Again,
yes,
very small potatoes. But you've been involved in several films at different levels. So
yes.
Tell us a little bit about that, and how did you get involved in that?
Yes. So I've been as an actress. I've been doing it for like over I think 5 years now. I did mostly a lot of indie films, short film, web series. The list goes on. But overall, each experience is different, and it's amazing because you get to learn through it, being as an actor. But also, which is actually it's good you asked me this question because nobody knows. But I'm actually working on something this year. Hopefully, I'm not guaranteeing it, but I have written 5 scripts. I'm a screenwriter as well, so I'm trying to look into becoming a director of my own films down the line. So you're the first to actually find out right now here. So you got the exclusives.
You heard it right here on The Invisible Man.
Yeah, right there. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. So definitely, it is a process, from transitioning from an actor towards now getting behind the scenes of, filming and all that sorts. It's a lot of work. I've seen it done because, I work alongside my business partner, Jam Prime Media, and we do music videos, productions, and, promotional clips and stuff. And it takes time because editing, a lot of people know editing, it takes a lot of hours. And you want to perfect depending what you want to put out there for your viewership. So it's a lot of things that people don't see. And, to get a sponsor, that's another headache. To get basically, people to be on your team, it takes time. But I think overall, it's just, you have to plan. My advice to you, if anybody who's watching as well, is basically have a plan A and plan B, especially for the film industry, as they call it, depending what you want to do per se. Always have something either a back plan. Have a great team that's going to back up what you're doing. Of course, that's first. And second of all, make sure you have people that are going to financially support what you're doing. You could do a GoFundMe. You could do a Kickstarter, I think they call it, and anything that's going to help you, because people want to see that. They'll get involved if they see what you're doing. Let's say you have a trailer, or you have something of a promo and you put it out there and you keep promoting it, and people are like, oh, that's really cool, and then they'll contact you, either through your social media outlets or whatever you want to call it, and then they'll tell other people about it, and that's also word of mouth. So it's other ways you could get out there. You don't have to have a big like say MGM Studios or a big these big people out there in LA to support you. You could start small, and I've seen how it gradually gets to the point where you could be out there in film festivals, and that's another thing. You could submit also to film festivals, and you never know who could watch what you're doing and support.
Yeah. Well, I can actually attest to the editing. It's I spent thousands of hours pushing around clips in DaVinci Resolve. It's anyhow. That's enough of my woes.
It's okay.
Yeah. So from the different roles that you have played, because you've been in front of the camera, when you're a writer, you've been behind it. Which role do you prefer if you had to pick one?
That's tough. That's really tough. No, seriously, because everything that you do, depending what you're good at everything, but you have the points are really stronger than the other ones. I would say I love writing. I love telling a story, especially with the music. That's my thing. The music thing that's my personal first thing before anything. Just telling stories and inspiring people, and then with my scripts and my hopefully putting out there, hopefully stories and stuff like that. I just want to inspire people and just uplift them.
Nice, excellent.
Thank you.
Brian, you want to jump in?
I was just actually looking up. We were talking about. We were looking up. You were just talking about your film star history, and one of them, I was looking at the list of things that you've done, and there's one that came up recently. Has been in 2 other films in movie Horror Affair.
My God, that was a while back. Yes. Oh.
Of all the ones that kind of jumped out at me, I was like, okay, yeah. Movie Horror Affair. I was just actually going to go Google that real quick. But Mark saw that I was looking uninterested as I'm desperately trying to look.
Interesting.
Tell us your role in that movie Horror Affair. Like, is it in the horror genre?
Yes. All right. So, big shout out to she goes by Akisha B or something. I forget. She's an artist as well. But this was actually her first project. Being a director, and we did it in her apartment. And actually, my role was, I believe, Janice, and I was basically. So basically in my role, I play a widow who just lost her boyfriend and mourning, and I just. I want him back. So eventually what I do in the short film is basically I go with my friends, we hang out, we do that board, Ouija board, they call it. And, then bad things starts to happen after that, basically. And I become possessed in the movie, not real life, no. Basically, I try to get my boyfriend back through doing different things. You guys gotta watch. I don't say so much, but you definitely gotta watch it. Yeah.
So you said that was a short film.
Yes.
Describe the amount of time and effort that it went in just to produce a short film like that.
Wow. Yeah. Actually, it wasn't my project. I was just like the actor, but I did see how the director was very meticulous, and it took time. It takes time because, as being an actor or actress, it doesn't take maybe a day or so, depending how long the script is, the shooting and all that sorts. But overall, I feel like it's a lot of work. People don't see that. You gotta make sure you know your lines. You gotta do a couple of takes. It may take a little longer than expected. It's about everything is patience when it comes to, especially in the acting field, and just knowing what you know best and learn from it overall. But with this project, it took like over I think a day or so, yeah, to get it done and put together now.
To get all your stuff done.
Yes.
Okay.
Yay.
And how long of a film is it? Are we talking like a 20-minute kind of film? Or?
I think it's on YouTube, but I think it's like maybe no more than 12 minutes actually, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but because what the thing was, it was first she wanted to break it down, so I think she ended up becoming a web series, but it never continued on after that. What I know from it, so it was just part one of that. But I mean, it's there. You guys could definitely check it out.
Yeah, Ryan's well aware of. Ryan's a bit of a voice actor, at least when.
Ooh.
Nice. So I'm an animator, and I've got him to do some voices. We've actually got cartoon versions of ourselves. I've made Ryan sit the hell, do his line. He doesn't have a lot to say, and I'll say, "That's great. Do it again. That's great. Do it again. Okay, this time a little bit more
exactly.
pathos." And I just keep going, and it could be a 2 minute line that he's got to go through in total, right? And yeah, we're there 2 hours later.
Or there's that it's all the reaction shots, like. Huh? Okay, again. What?
Oh my God.
Huh? What?
Oh, actually, yeah,
that's great. Just a little bit more inflection on the huh. Huh?
You do like 20 times. You're like, that's the best take. That's it. Cut. That's it.
The best.
Well, actually, no, the funny thing is, in the editing room, it's often one of the first two that I take.
See, there you go. That's perfect.
And then I'm sitting there thinking, like, how do I inflect this better? Oh, there's an acquaintance that I had a number of years ago when I was in my 20s, like, and she was from Washington, right outside Washington D.C., and it would be like, Hannah, can you pass me that? Huh? Hannah, can you pass me the drink? Oh, okay. Like, what's so it was like, and it was just like this very vacant, huh? Like, it's like the channel is, and like this whole deconstructive process, and it's like, how do I do this? And then Mark's like, that's great, do another one.
You're like, you're tormented now, no more.
No, my favorite one, Ryan. Let's see if you can do it. He's working on his character's working on a printer. The print page comes out, and a bullet hole goes right through it. He looks through the bullet hole, yeah. And then he says, "Do you remember what you said?"
Yeah.
It was
bullet hole. Holy moly!
There we go. No,
oh my goodness!
It was a little squeakier. It was a little bit squeakier.
Yeah.
Oh my!
Okay. Access an entire life because Mark and I met at work. I was a printer repairman, and Mark was an IT professional. That's how we met at work. So now I have to get back, grumpy, fixing something that should have been broken. Okay, bullet comes through. Holy moly!
That's better. There we go.
Oh my goodness.
And that's like the line where it's like, huh? What? Oh,
yep.
Like all these different like weird reactions. And it's like it's working, but it's not, right? Yeah. And I was like, Mark, I got an idea here. Okay, let's do it. Ready? Holy moly! And he's like, that's perfect. Where's that from? I'm like, that's my ode to Homer.
Oh my goodness! That's good inspiration, actually.
It was definitely not on the script. Anyhow,
no, it was
improv, yeah.
One of those moments where it was meant to be some sort of expletive, like, huh, what, huh, like, weird, like, and it was like, why not?
No, that's
and we
awesome.
found out last week, or was it last week? Adam was on last week, right? Yeah,
no,
Adam was on
week before.
the week before, yes. We found out a couple of weeks ago, or if people didn't already know, that my useless talent in the world is doing like impressions of stuff like so, like there, and I got to ask the question. I was like, so, well, what's like your like most useless talent? yeah. Like, what do you do that nobody else knows? So there's my question to you. What is your most useless of talents? We've already established that I should probably be like a radio DJ announcer guy, but
or at least the sound effect, or at least a soundboard.
Pretty good. No, it's pretty good. Pretty good. To answer that question, I don't know. I can't. I don't know yet.
Well, there's a list of things that you've done. I don't think you have a useless talent.
Yeah,
you somehow made like that leap to be like, oh, I can do this. Let's do it. Like,
could be a technician. I don't know. I don't know. I got to put things together. It's all in my head right now. I don't know. I could work at the street mopping. I don't know. I don't know what you call it.
So that was really cruel, Ryan, to ask the lady that is obviously capable of doing everything very, very well.
Yep.
To ask her what she can't
fair
do.
enough.
It's okay. Listen, I have my flaws. It's okay.
I also suffer, as viewers will notice, I also often suffer from this condition that's called foot in mouth disease, and I like to eat my own foot. So I oftentimes have a, like you can see, a scrambly, weird thought process, and it kind of comes out as a whoosh, and I don't tend to think about what I'm saying, especially when we're going, and so please don't read too deep.
No, don't worry about it. It's okay. It's okay. Oh my, you guys are okay. Actually, I do want to add. You guys are too much. I do want to add a couple of things here. Actually, I did a song with Cuban Link this last year, so October. The video is out there. It has like over, I think, 16.k views, I believe, on my Vero G Vivo on YouTube. You guys can check that out. It's called Come With Me, featuring Come and Vente Conmigo. It's like a bilingual reggaeton kind of song there. You guys could check that out. Really appreciate that. And check out my other books. Why not? So as you guys can see, talking about acting, this is an acting book I made. It's Acting 101 guidebook for actors. And it talks about, things I personally went through where, you can help you, any upcoming beginner actor, what tools, you could use and stuff like that can help you be successful and other sorts. So you guys could check that out at www.amazon.com. Also, my other book is called Crying in the Dark. It talks about going through a lot of things. I do suffer through mental health issues, but I feel like utilizing that with my story here will help anybody to let them know that it's okay to talk about it. I know it's a stigma. I have to mention again, back in, everybody suffers through things, but I feel like particularly in the minority, unfortunately, minorities, we get more of the slack and we don't really talk about it because of stigma. So with that said, definitely check out this book. It's called Crying in the Dark. It's also at Amazon.com. Also, guys, I have my Vero G. As you guys know, also I have a magazine company. It's called Vero G Spotlight Magazine. And on this issue, February's issue, we have the vice president, female first. Let me correct that. First female vice president of the United States, Kamala Harris. So I'm honored to have here, especially honoring Black History Month, as you know, and other great people on this issue. So support that at www.madcloud.com. And also, like I tell you, I would do a lot. So I also have winter gear accessories that they call it. I have hats for the Vero G Productions. If you guys can see that, I got all colors here. I got orange, black, blue, a few.
Oh,
I got
one of those my way. It's
all right. What's up? Well, you have to find me on Facebook. Well, you find me on Facebook. We'll talk. I got hoodies. I got jackets. I have sweaters. For now, I have that for now for the winter, especially now it's still cold there and everything. So why not? Why bundle up with the Vero G Production kind of gear?
Yeah.
What do you call it?
So you have links to all that on your websites?
I do. I'm Instagram. You see everything there. But if anything, just we could talk and I could send it to you where you could find that. And
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Just for the audience, so they can find your Instagram. I guess if they find you on Facebook, you're linked to Instagram there, I believe, and
Yes.
I think your Facebook does have links to all the social media as well.
Yes, definitely.
So I think we should be good there. Now there was something I guess a couple of things, but first was Let's go back a few years, I believe, but you
Okay.
have a musical connection with Al Sharpton, I understand.
Yes, yes. So many years. I think it was around. I think it was 2000. Let me see, 2021 now. So it's like 2000. I think it was 2012, 13. It was, or maybe a little earlier than that, but I know for sure I was there for like less than a year. I had the chance to audition. Actually, had an audition in the AM station, with, which I found out he was looking for people for his choir. So I went upon there. I went to NAN, where that's just located on 145th Street in Manhattan, Harlem. I think it's National Action Network. That's his, where his headquarters are at. I went there. I auditioned in front of him and a few other people that was there as well. I was nervous because I was like, oh my God, it's Al Sharpton. This, he's known. He's been for a while, and, whatever. So I was like, okay, I left. I didn't get a call back, no email. So I said, all right, I tried, and eventually, I think within a month after the auditions, I got an email. And they were saying, basically, I opened the email and it said, welcome, congratulations. You have been selected to be a part of the Change Choir. And I'm like, oh my God, and they gave me the dates to start. I was ASAP in there.
So did you squeal like a schoolgirl?
Yeah, I was like, I said, oh my God, I can't believe it. It's like American Idol, but like, one of those. No, but no, it was really great. And we did rehearsals. You know how that sorts is. Rehearsals. We did. It was like, I think it was every 2 Saturdays. We had to be there early in the morning because they have like their he has like his lecture and stuff like that with the people in the community and stuff. So it was really good. It was a great experience. I got a chance to travel with them, Washington D.C. We had an event right in front of the White House. I forgot what that event was about. I think it was something with the community or something happened really big. So we went there, we performed there. And then I also performed with them at the Sheraton Hotel in Manhattan, where they have like a Martin Luther King event. I think once a year they have something special at the hotel. And I got to meet a lot of celebrities there. I saw Robin Thicke. I saw Judge Mathis. There was a few other people there. It was really great. It was a great experience.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Okay, I just want to... We're coming towards the top of the hour, and although all this information is in the description for the show, so if you're on YouTube, look down, Facebook, you look up, and all this information there is clickable links. But for those of you who don't have access there, would like to jump in there quickly, you can find Vero G at VeroGmusic.com, on Facebook as VeroG2884, and Twitter Vero 2884, and on Instagram as a Diva and Diamonds. And I take it, I can confirm that she does respond to social media tags and comments and messages and stuff. There we go. Let's get back here again before I be careful. I gotta click the wrong button. There we go. So thank you so much for joining us. It's been great. And I think that we've got way more stuff that we need to talk about. So maybe later in the year we can have you back on and we can ask all those other questions that we didn't get to.
Oh, definitely. I just have to put a cheap plug as well. Just have to add it.
As many as
you guys are more than... Oh, I appreciate it. Yep. You guys, we have a radio show. It's every Wednesdays at 6 p.m. 7 p.m. at DTF Radio. You guys are more welcome to listen in, tune in, or you want to call in. We're at it's the Vero G Spotlight. Oh, thank you. Take out the picture. Vero G Spotlight Radio Show every Wednesdays, 6 p.m. 7 p.m. DTF Radio, guys. You could go on Google Play. It's free. DTF Radio app. Download it and check us out there every Wednesdays with myself, host Vero G, co-host Dalama, Gemini Stacks, and we have various DJs. Definitely just check it out. If you want to support all that, I appreciate that, guys. You also could check out our shows there on the YouTube channel on the Vero G Spotlight TV network. We're also on Roku, which is the same name, and also on Amazon Fire TV. So you guys could definitely support that if you can. I truly appreciate that. And we do a lot of great things. Like I said, we just did a back to school event last year in August. And even with COVID, I said nothing's stopping me. So we made it happen, and we gave back I think over 150 book bags and so forth, and reading books and food, all that. So I want to give back. That's what I do. And that's first. But overall, I just want to thank you guys for having me on the show. I'm truly honored. And just keep inspiring, and thank you so much for having me on the show.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's been a lot of fun. Yeah, and we'll definitely be in touch, and we'll book a date towards the end of the year. Well, we're almost we're not halfway through the year. It just feels like we are. The year should be over already. So thanks again, and Chris, a very big thank you for the audience. Little quieter than usual today, but Shalim was on top form there, leading the show from the comments. Thank you so much, and we will catch you all next week on the Invisible Man show. We have Black Eyed Susie, Ian Krochak, and Jared Adams coming on. We're going to be, because I'll be playing some live music and we'll be doing a bit of a round table. It'll be non-stop music next week. Hopefully if Zoom doesn't make things sound horrible, which sometimes it does. But so that's next week. And of course we have the Welcome to the Madhouse every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. in the UK. And then the Invisible Song Club on every second Sunday at 3:30 p.m. So thank you very much. And on behalf of Ryan and I, thank you very much, Vero Itchy, for joining us. It's been fantastic.
Thank you.
And from Ryan and I, wish you all a very good rest of your weekend, and we'll catch you very soon. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Stay warm, stay safe.
Yes, happy Valentine's Day. Yeah.
Forgot about that. Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Oh, the invisible man.